Escape the Matrix 7. Why no one can escape the Matrix. Hello, glad to see you here again. I'm Marie Swaru. Since the beginning of time itself, as an expression of course, on Earth just about everybody has been wanting to escape the material world, or the physical experience of being incarnated. This is reflected in the teachings of every religion, where everyone is promised a better life in some other realm of existence. Or in the case of other few ones, like in Buddhism, the subject is taught how to do its best not to reincarnate, and to be able to accept the dissolution of the ego, as something to strive for, basically trying to escape the cycle of reincarnation, for them called samsara. However, they don't believe in a heaven and hell as other religions do. But, without needing to go into the details of what does each religion on earth believe and why, they all basically want, as a person, an individual or a spirit, to escape the material realm of existence, basically being promised to live in some place, somewhere without suffering and where all their needs are met. Many times heaven is represented as someone playing a harp on a cloud, dressed in plain white and for all eternity, and this kind of gets old, as in boring. No wonder so many souls choose to go look for trouble, incarnating into the physical after a few thousands of years of that. And that also explains why so few people, so few musicians choose the harp as their musical instrument of choice. Looks like they've had enough of it. Just joking. But I'm not joking that much either, because as so many people who have made past life regressions, and people who have gone through near-death experiences have stated many times, that they remember wanting to go back into a body, to have yet another experience as all the action is taking place in the physical realms and not in the peaceful high ethereal ones, where people, or souls basically go there to rest and to heal before wanting to go back in. This is extremely recurrent in the vast majority of near-death experiences, and past life regressions such as the ones Dolores Cannon reports in her books and works. This also backs up what I was stating in my video, same events, different meanings, physical or spiritual side, because a soul will want to escape the physical while in a live body, as traumatic events don't hold the same meaning, and are seen in a positive way when in the afterlife, where they are considered as great opportunities to learn and expand the soul's consciousness, and not as something to be avoided at all costs, as when alive. This may bring a disturbing conclusion, that souls when on the spiritual side, and while designing their next incarnation, may deliberately choose traumatic experiences, and suffering, because it brings expansion and growth to them, cruelly at the cost of themselves while alive. Although it is said that it is the same soul, the same consciousness while in the spiritual side and when in the physical, from an objective point of view and applying what we've come to understand so far, while a soul is on the etheric, or spiritual side, it is outside all concepts of time and space, and also holds an extremely expanded consciousness and awareness, simply because it is so close to source. But while the same soul is in the physical, its awareness, its memory and its understanding is very limited, simply because it mostly has few to no memories of the afterlife, so it falls into a deterministic point of view, where the body's 5 basic senses provides the soul with all the information of what exists and what does not, with it generating strong feelings of despair, abandonment and loneliness, if not plain suffering. This strongly makes me realize that a soul while on the physical is not the same person as while in the afterlife before incarnating. An incarnated person may be the same consciousness awareness of that soul in pre-life, same ego if you like, but only from the more expanded point of view of the soul itself, of the higher self, but not from the point of view, or from the perspective of someone inside a body, in the physical, simply because they hold very different points of view about existence itself. If that same soul is so expanded while in the ethereal realms, outside time and space, then it should be aware of this, of the perceptual limitations while in the physical, those that cause so much suffering. Although the reason for me, the basic and most fundamental cause of all the suffering while alive, while in the physical, is the feeling of separation from Source. That is what causes such despair, such fear of death, and it is what causes to want to escape from the physical. All souls want to know an answer, want to know the why they are alive, and although they desperately want to escape from the physical, into higher, more peaceful realms where they can escape from their problems, they too hold on to life with all their might. With the fear of facing the unknown at death, as the main motive to hold on to life as long as possible. Fear of the destruction of the self, of the ego, and yes, it is destroyed at death as the point of focused attention of the subject's soul expands so much it becomes more of what it has always been, and with it no longer being just John, or just Jane. But this destruction of the ego self is not necessarily a bad thing, or only seen from a materialistic point of view, because it is also a great liberation from everything that we were while alive, especially because we take the good with us, and the bad is transformed into more good, as we return to ethereal realms of existence. The reason why no one can escape the matrix, is because each person is, by definition and by right, the matrix itself he or she is living in. Whatever a person wants to escape from, all the suffering, especially the psychological pain, is part of who we are, and with it we take it to wherever we go, being that all places, in the material side or in the ethereal side, are only reflections of what each soul is, and not somewhere they are in a deterministic way. The only pain we truly escape from while we transcend, is the physical pain, the one produced by damaged parts of our bodies. Except for the psychological trauma they may produce, although we must remember that when on the ethereal side, even those hold a different value and meaning. We can't escape the matrix because it is a reflection of who we are, and not a place we are locked in. And as an expanded description of the matrix, there is a lot more of it outside Earth. It is basically the same realm, even though its basic frequency of existence may be a lot higher, 5D, although I don't like to call it that way. Even many New Age groups promise everyone that a new Earth will arrive, and that we are all ascending into a new era of abundance, and many others even promise physical extractions of thousands of chosen people, where they are told that they will be taken to a new place or planet where all their needs are met. With this, it is only yet another version of the heaven religions promise people when they have been obedient and good people. Extractions do occur, those are real, but people are not taken to promised lands full of abundance, they are only taken from one level of the matrix to another level of the same thing, where problems still exist and so does hardship and suffering, only in a different way, manner, or cause. People who have committed suicide only find out to their horror that all the psychological pain that caused them to do so followed them into the afterlife, and with it they find themselves with the realization that they cannot do anything about those problems they were running away from, because those can only be resolved while alive, with it causing them to want to reincarnate once more, and into the very same circumstances that cornered them into suicide the first time. As I've explained many times before in my previous videos, there are no ethereal and physical realms, everything is ethereal, and the physical side only exists while in the perception of someone alive, in a body, and not from the more expanded point of view of that same soul. Spirit worlds and material worlds only exists while in duality. While holding an expanded ethereal point of view, everything that exists is part of the spirit world. The idea of wanting to escape the matrix comes from that duality point of view, of wanting to be there and not here. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, as the saying goes. There is absolutely nothing to escape from, much less a matrix. That is only an illusion while in the physical. All we can do is realize that wherever we are is who we are. All the external world is only a reflection of who we are, so the only way to escape the matrix is to escape from ourselves, and the only true way to escape from who we are is to strive to be the best versions of ourselves, always. We must work on ourselves, learn and expand who we are, nurturing our consciousness and awareness. With the realization in mind that everyone else is also us, so we must leave behind all the feelings of resentment and of narcissism, to transform ourselves into the best versions we can be, with love and integrity as our basic and most fundamental concepts to follow. And our world will change for the better, for us, and for whoever is near us. While in the physical, our world around us takes time to change, but how we see and interpret all those things around us can change as fast as you like. It only depends on you. And all those aspects that are constant to a subject's life in the physical, those that in perception cannot be changed, will dissolve at death, where from ethereal higher realms, that same soul will reflect who it truly is, and with it, what it will manifest for itself will be, and can only be, a direct reflection of who the soul is. No one can escape the matrix, being that it is much more than just the so-called 3D realm on Earth. There is so much more matrix outside of it, and that includes higher realms as well, because each subject, each soul is forming its own matrix as a direct reflection of who it is. All what we can truly do as souls is improve ourselves, to be able to expand our consciousness and awareness as much as possible, while alive and while in the spirit world. We don't need to wait to be in the spirit world, or to incarnate in order to expand ourselves. We can do so wherever we are, because they are not places, they are only awareness states. And while in the physical, we must also take action, within the laws of that realm, to be able to move into better circumstances as we go along, and as each opportunity goes presenting itself. No one can escape the matrix, but on the other hand, no one needs to escape it either. All we need to do is improve ourselves, and there is always a how to do that, no matter how hard our circumstances may be. The harder it is, the bigger the contrast, and so is the satisfaction when achieved. Your mission in life and in existence itself is to improve yourself, to expand, to know more, and to learn to appreciate and to love yourself. Take care out there, my friends. See you next time. With all my love. Marie Soirou.